Hey, YGOVanguard here, and today I'm going to be doing a Constellar deck profile. So this is my first deck profile, so I might struggle a bit with, I don't really know how to do deck profiles yet, but it'd be great if you could give me some tips or strategies that I could use down in the comment section below. So yeah, so this is the Constellar deck that got me to the Dragon Duel World Championships. Since I'm 12, I entered the Dragon Duel regionals and I got second place. And I won all my games except for my final game, which determined who got first, and I lost that in a Constellar mirror match. So yeah, anyways. So we're going to start with monsters, then spells, and then traps, and then your extra deck. I don't run a side deck because I don't have the right cards for a side deck. So yeah, I'm trying to build a side deck, but I don't have it yet. Anyways, so let's get started. So first, I run 3 Polluxes. His effect is you get an extra normal summon in addition to your normal summon that turn. So you'd summon Pollux, and then you can summon another Constellar monster, and then overlay them for whatever Xyz monster is as good for the situation you're in. Next, I run 3 Elgidies. Her effect is pretty much the exact same with Pollux's, except you special summon a level 4 Constellar monster, so you have to special summon, not normal summon. And then 3 Causes, or Kaus, however you want to say it. He can't be used as a synchro material monster, but his effect is twice per turn. You can target one Constellar monster and then activate one of the effects, increase its level by 1, or reduce its level by 1. So usually you would summon a Pollux and then a Caus, and then you use Caus's effect on himself and then Pollux, and then you'd be able to get out a rank 5, usually Pleiades or Tiras or one of those better ones, whatever is in the situation. It's always a situation. So I run 1 Sombre. I want to run 3, I have to, you need to run 3 Sombres, but I only have 1 at the time since they're pretty high in price, and I can't find any, even at the regionals. But anyways, his effect is, you normal summon him, and you can banish one Constellar monster from your graveyard, and then send 1 Constellar monster from your graveyard back to your hand, and then you get an extra normal summon that turn. So, what I like to do is, if I have Pollux, Elgidie, and Caus in my hand, or Pollux in my grave, and then Elgidie, Caus, and Sombre in my hand, I'd summon Sombre, banish like a Constellar monster, bring Pollux back to my hand, and then it's extra normal summon, so you can summon Pollux, summon Elgidie, and then Elgidie's effects into his normal summon. You can special summon Caus, and then you get a rank 4 and a rank 5. So, depending if they have back row, you can do an Omega, so all Constellar monsters are unaffected, and then you can do Pleiades. So yeah, really good card, but I still need more. So I run 2 Sheratons because Sheraton, it clogs up, and it's pretty much a searcher to level 3, and when it's normal summon, you can search for 1 Constellar monster and then add it from your deck to your hand. So yeah, and then Photon Thrasher. So you should know its effect. If your opponent has monsters on the field and you don't, you can special summon that card from your hand. It has 2100 attack and it's level 4, 0 defense. But if you control another monster, it can't attack. So usually, you do Thrasher and then summon Pollux, and then get out either a rank 4 or Excalibur. So yeah. Then I run one Ryo just because it's limited to one. Because I don't have much. I only have one searcher in my deck, other than Bear, but Ryo is just really good. Its effect, if you don't know, is neither player can add cards from their deck to their hand, except by drawing them. During either player's turn, when your opponent would special summon a monster, you can send this face-up card to the graveyard, negate the special summon, and destroy it. So yeah, really good card. And I run one Cyber Dragon just because it's the exact same effect as Thrasher, except it can attack. And it's a level 5, so you could special summon Cyber Dragon, and if you just had a Koss in your hand, you can summon Koss, rank boost Koss's level by 1, and then get a rank 5. And obviously, since this whole deck is pretty much just lights, I run Honest, and it's pretty self-explanatory. It gains the attack of the monster you're battling, so really awesome, you know. So I run one card D, because in this deck, you usually use your hand up pretty easily. And I run a 1 Day of Peace as well. So if you go if you do 1 Day of Peace and then card D, and you don't even have any monsters on the field, it's completely fine because you just drew 3 cards, but your opponent can't do anything to you that turn, his next turn. And then I run 2 Bear, because it's a searcher for your 3 Tenkeys, and yeah, so there's your monsters. And then on to spells. I run a Dimensional Fissure, and it's a good side deck card, but I just like using Dimensional Fissure right now because I only have one Sombre, and it works against so many different decks. So yeah, really, it's just good to have in your deck for now. And unless you have 3 Sombre, then I'd say side it, but for now, yeah. So I run a Pot of Duality. Dimensional Fissure effect, if you don't know, any monster sent to the graveyard is banished instead. So, sorry about that. Pot of Duality, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add one of those cards to your hand, then shuffle the rest back into your deck. You can only activate one Pot of Duality per turn, and you can't special summon the turn you activate it. So, yeah. It's just good for if you're low on cards, and you need a certain card if you don't have any searchers. So, Book of Moon, pretty self-explanatory. Just pretty much just flip one face-up monster on the field, face-down defense position. So, yeah. Reinforcement of the Army to search for either your Thrasher or your Pollux. Dark Hole, just destroy all monsters on the field. You need to run Dark Hole. And also Omega, if you only have Constellar XC's monsters or Constellar monsters on the field, you can use Omega's effect. All Constellar monsters are unaffected by any spell or trap cards during the turn. And then you Dark Hole, and then you can attack, usually for game at that point. 1 Day of Peace, I already told you. Each player draws 1 card, and neither player takes any battle damage until your opponent's next end phase. So I usually combo that with card D. And then I run 2 Forbidden Lance. 3 is just too cloggy for me. But Forbidden Lance is really good because I can even use it on my own monsters sometimes. And its effect is target 1 face-up monster on the field until the end phase. It loses 800 attack, but is unaffected by the effects of other spell and trap cards. So you can use it on your own monsters, or usually on your opponent's monsters to get them lower attack. Then I run 2 MSTs, destroy spell and trap card, and then the 3 Tenkeys to search for your Koss, your Bear, and yeah. So Sometimes I would search for bear, just summon bear, use 10 keys of use bear's effect, and then you get rid of like anything really. Yeah, so there's the spells, and then traps. I don't run many traps, but I just run the generic traps. So a bottomless trap hole. When your opponent summons a monster with 1500 or more attack, destroy that monster with 1500 or more attack, and if you do, banish it instead. So, yep. And a Phoenix Chain. Yeah, I run a lot of just self-explanatory cards, and I bet you're wondering why only one. Usually you'd run 3, but for me it's worked out because I can just use bottomless, I can use Phoenix Chain, I can use like a bunch of different cards to just destroy them. So its effect is activate this card by targeting one effect monster on the field. Its effects are negated. Also cannot attack when it is destroyed. Destroy this card. Compulse. Target one monster on the field. Return that target to the hand. Pretty self-explanatory. Just compulse. And then Scrap Iron Scarecrow. I didn't use this card at first, but it has saved me so many different games. Like, I've gone to a bunch of different local tournaments, and it saved me so many games. I held off at the Constellar mirror match for a long time that time. So yeah, and then I run 1 Dimensional Prison. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, just target that monster, banish it. So yeah, and 2 Mirror Force. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls. So yeah, pretty self-explanatory. So yeah, there is the main deck. Just spells, traps, and monsters. And here's the extra deck. I have a full 15. And yeah, so I run 2 Constellar Omegas. I've said its effect a lot of times through this video, but it's 2 level 4 light monsters, and once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card. All Constellar monsters you control are unaffected by spell and trap effects that turn. It has 2400 attack and 500 defense. So it's a really good card. So I run 2, but you can run 3 if you want. But I just think I don't use it that much, because there are other cards in your extra deck that you can use other than that. And then I run 3 Pleiades. Pleiades it's just it's a compulse, really. It's 2 level 5 light monsters, sorry. And once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card to target 1 card on the field, return that target to the hand. It has 2500 attack and 1500 defense. So yeah, it's a really good card. And it's just a walking compulse. So yeah. And I run 2 Precepts. It has 2400 attack and 800 defense. It's 2 level 4 Constellar monsters, and once per turn during the damage step of either player's turn, when a Constellar monster you control is attacking or being attacked, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card. That monster gains 1000 attack until the end phase. So it's pretty good. Because if you bring out like Omega and your Omega's in trouble, then if you have Precept out on the field, you can just use Precept's effect. Really easy. And then 1 Ptolemy. I'm trying to run 2 Ptolemies, but as you know, it's it's a $30 card, so really hard to get. I pulled one from Hidden Arsenal 7 pack, so it's pretty awesome. It's 2700 attack and 2000 defense. It's a rank 6. and you can use 2 level 6 monsters, but the way you bring this card out is its other effect. You can overlay it on top of a Constellar Xyz monster you control. So, pretty much, its effect is you can't use this effect the turn you summon it, but it pretty much compulses either on the field, not during your player's turn, but the graveyard. The graveyard is what you usually use it for, and what you use it on is Honest. It is really good. You bring out Ptolemy, you get back Honest. They have something. They have like a really high-powered card, or just 2,800, or even 2,700, and you attack with Ptolemy, get Honest out, and it's game. It's a really good. Ptolemy's really good. So then I run 1 Photon Papilloperative. It's 2 level 4 monsters, and once per turn, you can attach 1 Xyz Material from this card to target 1 defense position monster on the field, change it to face-up attack position, and if you do, it loses 800 attack. So it's a pretty good card in certain situations. Like, if your opponent's running agents or something, and they and you know they're running Marshmallow in their deck, and they set a card, you can use Photon Papilloperative, flip it up, you don't lose 1,000, and then you can just attack for 2,100 pretty much, because it loses 600 at that time. So yeah, Gemnite Pearl, it's 2 level 4 monsters, and it doesn't have an effect, but it's a 2,600 beater. So if your opponent has like 2,500 or 2,400, something around that range, which usually like rank 4s and stuff usually have, you can just bring out Gemnite Pearl and attack. So yeah, I run 1 Starliege Paladinamo. Its effect is it's 2 level 4 monsters, and once per turn, you can attach 2 Xyz Material from this card to target 1 face-up monster on your opponent's side of the field. Its attack becomes 0, and if it does, its effects are negated. When this card you control is destroyed to your by your opponent's card effects, by battle or your opponent's card effects, and sent to the graveyard, draw 1 card. It has 2,000 attack and 1,000 defense, so pretty much you would summon it, use this effect, get 2,000 down on them, and yeah, easy. Excalibur, this is a part of an OTK that you can use if you're like on your first turn. If you're going second, you get a Pollux, an Algody, a Koss, and a Thrasher, and a Dark Hole. Then you go Thrasher. Well, first you do Thrasher, and then you summon Pollux, Algody, Koss, and then Pollux and Thrasher for Shark Fortress, which I'll tell you about later, and then Thrasher and Pollux for Excalibur, and then Shark Fortress's effect is 2 level 5 monsters, and your opponent cannot target monsters for attacks. Its first effect doesn't really matter, but you can detach, once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz Material from this card, then target 1 face-up monster you control. It can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. So, you would bring out Shark Fortress, bring out Excalibur, detach 2 from Excalibur, it's at 4,000 now, use Shark Fortress effect, attack like it's your opponent's like face down or something with Shark Fortress, and then attack twice with Excalibur for exactly 8,000, which is game. So yeah, and then probably my favorite card in my extra deck, Tiras, Keeper of Genesis. It's 2 level 5 monsters, and its effect is This card's effects can only be applied / resolved while it has Xyz material. This card cannot be destroyed by card effects at the end of the battle phase. If this card attacked or was attacked, target one card your opponent controls, destroy that target. During each of your end phases, detach one Xyz material from this card. So it's pretty good. It's a pretty good card. So yeah, and then I run one Yugioh Cowboy. That has 1500 attack, 2400 defense. 2 level 4 monsters. Once per turn, you can attach one Xyz material from this card to apply one of the effects. If it's in attack position, then it gains Yugioh Cowboy gains 1000 attack, and your opponent's monster loses 500 attack. If it's in defense position, then you just detach one and inflict 800 damage to your opponent. So yeah, it's good for just if you're really close, like on life points, and your opponent has less than 800 or 800. Just bring up Yugioh Cowboy and just beat them down. So yeah, sorry this video took so long, but thanks for watching anyways, and I hope you enjoyed. I hope you take this into take the deck into consideration. I've worked really hard on it. Please give me feedback in the comment section below, and yeah, thanks for watching.